So let's I'll use 2.4. You can, with RVM, obviously you should use RVM if you're on a Mac or Linux. Otherwise, you use the default system is always out of date Ruby version, and then all these manuals say, oh, just do sudo gem install. You're a Ruby guy, you should never do that. You should always use a Ruby version manager and only do Ruby install, gem install. You don't want to do sudo, right? Because you can throw away this Ruby version and can use another one. I have many over the years, right, as it progresses. And if you need to clear up your hard drive later, you can just, remove the old one. So I'm going to use the latest version, 2.4, to see what libraries you have under that gem, and then under that Ruby version. Gem is your library management, right? So let's see if I have Rails and I install that. Obviously, you can also type this. Whoops. So it looks like I have the latest Rails, latest Ruby. I'm ready to rock and roll. And if you're curious, you can always see where the path is when you install the gem. All right. So what is the next first step? Yep.
I already got a question here. Is it useful to make new gem sets for each project, or like for our purposes, is it just basically gem sets?
Yeah.
School is all fine?
Good question. I think the answer is, there's a long-term benefit to using your own gem set. But in Vietnam, sometimes the internet's quite slow. Your bundler can act up quite slowly. So if you create a new gem set, most of the times it means for a project you can do what is a gem set. So this is how I used to do for my project. I would call my project, let's say, Tiny Chat. That's my project today, okay? All right. I can go to Tiny Chat and say, I'm going to create a Rails project. If I just use Rails like this, new, I can do a period, which is this folder, right? It's the same as passing the name, but I'm already in this folder. It just generate right here, and then PostgreSQL. It uses the current global gem set. But like Tim said, RVM tells you to use a gem set. So I can do this echo, maybe I call Tiny Chat is the name of the gem set, right? I put it in a Ruby gem set file. When you go back to this folder, I still need one more, echo 2.4 into Ruby version. So if you have these two files in a project, Ruby gem set and Ruby version, when you cd into this folder, RVM automatically changes to that gem set. You see this here? But it means, look, I have nothing here except the most basic, gems that RVM depends on. What's the first gem I need to install? No, bundler. That's right. So Rails 1.2, if you have an existing project, you need to install bundler. Go into the project and just type bundle install. If you, like me, haven't installed anything, then I have to install Rails. You're right. And then Rails will install bundler. So depending on your setup, I don't like this because now you have to wait for me to install Nokogiri again, right? So I'm going to remove these two files. I do something like this, 2.4 default. I can also do that, right? There are many ways you can set it to always use 2.4. Okay, let's finally start. Did that answer your question? Yeah, okay. What is that? Database, Postgres. Anything else we need to do? That's okay, right? We keep the... Oh my. I go back to this guy one more time. All right. Someone help. Database, Postgres. Did I have to type PostgreSQL? Yeah. Okay. TC-Info is a gem that is needed for your Windows machine. Rails added anyway. In early Rails 5, I always have to go and add to Windows machine because most people did not know that it was needed. Okay, exciting. What's the first thing we should do with our assignment? Yes? Okay, so Rails already gives you git ignore and all these things. First is git init, and then git add, period, right? From then on, you can have a habit of git add period, but if you want to be more pro, don't use it. you want to add like each file at the same time, differently. But when you're really pro, you should never accidentally add any wrong file anyway. So you can go back to git add period. Does it make sense? Sometimes your girlfriend calls and then you type in her wish list in this notepad file, and then you save it to this folder, and then you just git commit. I want to buy this thing. Okay, it's taking a long time. Done. All right, first step, git init. Second, git add. Third, I have some quick things. This is git commit add, so you can just say git commit and first commit. You can also say what you did there, right? There was new, blah, if you want to be more informative. Okay, what's the next thing here? Let's just get the readme file, okay? Here's the file. I'm going to save this file into my readme. Just go to the raw page, copy it. I just upgraded to Max Sierra after finally having time to clean up. Oh no! I made a mistake. Okay, forgive me for that one. Maybe Rails 5 played tricks on me. I don't know why it creates another folder in there. Oh, I did? Oh, okay. So let's paste this one. Let's fix that too. I have two tiny tabs here. What's a good way to fix it? You can just move everything here. So move anything in tiny chat like that to this folder. Would it work? Okay, let's go into this tiny chat. There's nothing there. Go back to the previous one. Let's remove here tiny chat. Why is it not empty? Oh, there's a git ignore in there. Let's move this guy because it was a hidden file, right? Okay, this file is empty now. Tiny chat. Okay, so here's the thing. I can add and then I commit again. Normally you can do that, right? I'm just I don't want to. I'm a bit embarrassed. So what I did is that I just merged everything I did into the previous commit. So then there's only one, because I haven't pushed anywhere else yet. Okay? So let's go into the readme file. I think we have what we need. Let's do the first thing here. Obviously change your name and such. Sign up by providing email and password. We need a new site. We need to do Rails DB. What's that? Create. DB. There's no migrate, right? So what is our site? It's a chat website. So same deal. Rails generate. What's going on here? Okay, my Postgres is not running. So do that. Again, if you see errors, you should be happy. Excited. It's like there's a challenge ahead of us. Rails generate controller, what should we call? Home index as usual, right? By now, you should know all the different controller. Model only does model. Controller only does controller. There's resource that do model and routes, right? Okay. In this home controller, let's go to our route file. Maybe we go root, right? Home index. And then in here we do home index tiny chat. Option to sign. What is harder? Sign in or sign up? Sign up? Well, sign in, you need to have a user first. So I'll just do sign up, yeah? So what is sign up exactly? What do you create? So it's like imagine the Rails way /new. Yeah, so user /new, right? So imagine I have new user path. Sounds good? How can you have this new user path? Resources users. You can see that I already create stuff myself. I don't need the generator, right? And then what do I need afterwards? A user model? Okay, maybe user model. Let's use a generator. That's what Rails is great for. Rails generate model user. What do we need?
Name, password.
Name, email. Technically nowadays, yeah, email. Okay, password. You see these are strings. So now password will be. Oh, do you store password?
No.
So I call it password digest or whatever funny name you can come up with. Anything else? Yeah, current IP and all this. Okay, I think that's enough. After you have the model, what do? You can go and change, look at your migration file, the latest, migration file, right? Looks good. Maybe you can say, well, technically I want this guy to be indexed, so it's faster. Yeah? And then you migrate. What can we do with this? Let's play with the Rails console first. Yeah? So you learn something called decrypt, and in this note, you can reference lecture note here. Correct. So there's this has secure password stuff. So let's search. I'm going to explain it. Has secure password. So Rails add this class method. All right. Okay. So pay attention now because you're gonna fall asleep. Like there's a user model, and then I have something called has secure password. What is that? If you use Java, you're like, is that a programming a language keyword? How can you just have a random word there? In Ruby, obviously, you can define anything to be a function, a keyword, and that's why it's sort of good at meta programming, right? So what is it, right? I'm going to show source. So Rails just defined this thing called has secure password. It has some arguments, right? But because the default is empty, there's no need to do anything there. But it's actually sort of calling a method, right? Second, it's somewhere it's in a file, it's in a module. It's going to just like secure password is in the file. Okay, so I'm going to click on this on GitHub thing. Please ask question because this is supposed to be very confusing. We're learning Ruby and Rails at the same time, so you see the link here goes to this has secure password. Nothing magic there. It links to this file. You see how they document the code very well. Feel free to do that to your to your own source code. It's a very good habit. It's a module, right? And this module is structured in a way that active model, sounds familiar, right? It's a module inside active model namespace. What we're doing here is a user inherit from active record base. In active record base, it say, hey, include me. Right, all these methods in active model, and inside active model you have like has secure password and many things. That's why validation works, right? So anyway, active record already include has secure password, this module here, secure password module. So all you have to do, you call this, it will understand. Let's do that, and then you can also see what comes with it. So I go to user. Has secure password. If I run it now, like Nam say, it will complain that it assumed that I need to turn on bcrypt. So let's go here, turn on bcrypt and run bundle. Right, bundle is the same for bundle install, and then we'll run Rails console with it. Let's go to my user model. Add validates email presence true, uniqueness true. Yeah. And if you down here, you're like, oh, I added after I run Rails console. What happened now? I can just reload. Okay? So, let's do user.new name Harley here. Okay? a.save. What's going to happen? It's going to crash. Then you have to go here and look at the errors. But what's the faster way to do it? Error dot full messages. Okay, password cannot be blind. Email cannot be blind. Whoa, how does it know? Okay, email, yes, but password can't be blind. I have password digest. So this guy assumed that if you have a password digest attribute, it creates this virtual method called password. When you set value to password, it does something under this the scene, it generates this password digest. Makes sense, right? So if I do it myself, I would implement something like this. If I don't have hash secure password, I'll do it like this. Password equal something like this, and then maybe like first self dot password digest equals like some module called encryptor, right? Dot encrypt value. Make sense? This a bit more, but that's how you would do it. So if you look into here, there's a password equal method. So you're not afraid, right? So it has another virtual attribute. It's not a column. But you say unencrypted. Okay? So it say, well, have I encrypted you? Like, have you given me the password before? Oh, not yet, right? Then I'm going to, not yet. Then I'm going to encrypt the password and also save it. So that next time you pass in the password again, I'm not going to overwrite your password that easily. Make sense? So first time I run it, password equals some value, then, well, here, this is the value I just passed in, right? Then this value, it will do, if you give the password, like, I do a.password equals nil, what happened now? If it's nil, then it clear out the password digest. If I give it a string, then it will save that into the password instance variable. So I can actually have it only when I'm accessing this object. It's not saved anywhere. And then I will use bcrypt to convert to encrypt it. Make sense? Okay, so why do I have equal where? This is a setter, right? So you see this space is optional. So this is a setter. So there's no getter for password, maybe. Is there one? So let's see. I already have hash secure password. I'm gonna do it now, right? A.password. Oh, there's a getter, right? So maybe they defined it somewhere. Okay. So Ruby allows you to do attr reader. Getter is reader. So when you do this attr password, reader password is the same as def password and return at password. So that's Ruby for you. That's just Ruby syntax. So this way define the reader or the getter. I need a setter, and here's the setter is defined. The setter is very simple. If you pass in nothing, it clear the password digest. If you pass in a value, it set the value. Okay? So now you can guess, let's say, if I have a password already, if I do save again, and then it returns false, what's my error? Who guess? Alright, I need an email. Save, true. And let's look at what it does here, right? Insert user's name, email, password. Have a good habit to read the SQL log, right? So you see, it just generates the SQL queries and it passes in the 3 variables here, the 5 variables. So it passes in name to name. Name hardly is a pair. Email, password digest, created that and updated that. No magic anymore, right? When you do work at home, Rails console gives you a lot of information. Something that you miss when you go and work on a different web development framework. But then, let's look at this password digest. $2A, $10, blah, blah, blah. What is that? Yeah, so it's sort of, it's in here, it contains, this is an example of a digest similar to ours, right? I believe, this 10 is the cost, right? Cost 10, and then, this $2A is, I don't know what it is. Like you say, maybe it's always like that for this type. And then the rest down here, right, is, and then there's the way, I think in the front or the back, you have the salt. Oh, you see here? after the period here, the salt as well. So there's a potentially like, it includes some salt information, and then the whole thing is password. You don't have to worry about it. I'm just explaining that, it's quite interesting that they structure it in a clean way, right? Okay, so now when you read this manual, it's very clear. You go home and you're like, okay, include bcrypt, and they give you an example here. So I already know how to set a password. Yeah, I save it. Now, who here? So now I do user.first. Who here knows what? Who here remembers what the password is? How can you check if the password is what you want or what it is? What happened if I enter now? It's a new record. No, I mean, it's an existing record from the database, but it's a new instance, user instance. It's nil, right? Why is it nil? Because it's just a temporary holder, right? So you want to do something like, is my password correct? Something like that, right? Question mark, and then you pass in some password. So what is it? There's a method called authenticate. And then it returns false. If it's not true, what is the real password? It returns, right, instead of nil, false, it returns a user record. So in Ruby, sometimes it's not very clear when you return true, false, nil, or object. You can do if authenticate blah, because as long as it returns a user instance, that's true, right? That's truthy. If you return nil or false, that's falsy. So you can use this in an if statement. Make sense? If, and in the same way that, here you look at the manual, it say false or user, right? It return back the user, so that it's just more convenient. Why do I give you true and false? I just give you the whole user. Some people don't like that, and there may be a different way to check. So any question about being able to set password and check if the password is correct? No question there? So we can implement our user sign-in, sign-up form. Okay, and now here's a quick trick. Some of you did not understand .where, .find, right? Usually you do find, and then you pass in the ID, because that's the most common way, right? In any controller, else you go find by ID, right? So, but then sometimes you find by something else, not ID. So you have to pass in the name of the column. So this is a very popular way. You can do find by and then pass in the key value. Okay. If you do find underscore by underscore name and then pass in, it will still work because it's Ruby, right? If you give it a random string, it will like, can I turn this into a method? Oh, it's there, right? It's dynamic method, right? So, but this is clearer to those who don't use Ruby. So over time, Ruby people prefer to use clearer way like this. If they use the old way, you can do this. Find underscore by underscore name underscore or underscore email. And your friends are like, how the hell does it work? But it works. So you can write yourself if you learn Ruby for 1 week. Okay. And then there's try here, means if this is nil, then it just skip the entire thing. But if it's not nil, then you can try, and then you can return true or false. You see how this one line can normally be 10 lines in Java? I just use it as an example, right? I don't mean Java is bad, right? Okay, but this can also be bad because if you make a mistake somewhere there, you don't know whether you make a mistake at the beginning of the line or at the end of the line. Good luck. Okay, let's create the form. I create the route. I have the model. How do I create a form? So someone, maybe I should go and run it, right? Rails localhost. Oh, maybe I should show you guys this one. This is cool. How does authenticate method work? When you read the source, this actually it's quite fun. Okay, so can someone explain to me? Alberto, you want to try? You see the authenticate, you pass in a value. Okay, what is it doing? It encrypt the password. And then what?
It's one with food.
It basically it creates this decrypt thing, and then it asks if this unencrypted password is the password that can turn into this digest. The last time I taught this it's quite funny. They changed the code. So last time it was an equal sign, and it's really stupid because they overload the operator equal sign. It makes you think you can actually compare password ISDF with this thing. I'm like, how can I compare? Because I don't know the original password. So what they did is that they changed it into something more reasonable. So what is this EAST password? Then you go into this library and then find the EAST password method. You can even probably search it up here and it will come up, right? Let me see if that's true, huh? Like, I want to see if they, yeah, oh, they did this. You see this? So last time I asked someone, like, can you explain to me how the hell can they turn this old one into some unencrypted password to do comparison? Does it make sense? When you read this, you're like, oh, this decrypt can decrypt this guy, right? And then compare with an unencrypted password. But that is not true. They just overwrite this operator. It's just so confusing, right? That's bad code writing. So this guy actually changed. So the last time I taught, zoom into the code, I'm like, come on, I can guess that they overwrite. But again, if you're a Python developer, you come in and you're like, come on, man, you waste my time because you're trying to be clever. Okay, I'm glad we catch that. I didn't realize they changed it. Okay, so
they changed that after your query?
now,
Like, do you know the developer?
no, I'm sure other people complain. It's just the world. There's so many people. But maybe I should have complained and joined the discussion. So I have Rails here. Let's see, Rails as. I'm just gonna create another port. What port do you feel like today? Maybe 5,000. Come on. Sorry, this tool I need to fix. It's getting stuck these days. Right, so what happens when you have other Rails process being stuck like that? Yeah, how do you kill them? You can go to activity. You can go to activity monitor and find them. But the interesting thing is from Rails 5, it's okay. I just kill all. Rails 5 sometimes they actually run Puma instead, and you actually if you only kill Rails, you can't find it. It's like Puma runs the Rails server. So sometimes I say that last time, and then maybe this time Rails 5.0.1 actually changed. So we'll see. All right, we have it back at 3,000. Okay. See, like it's somewhere. Oh, so annoying. Even though it runs on 3,000 without complaining, right? Uh-oh. Okay, let's keep thinking. Parallel processing. All right, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? Yep. Yeah, we can check that. Correct. You can also go to the pit folder. Okay, we need to create the view files. So you do Rails generate blah blah blah. Okay, make dir add view users, and in that maybe I have users controller. Oh, I don't. Okay, maybe it's just better just do Rails generate controller users again, right? Controller always plural. Okay, I have tiny chat over there. I have users controller. Uh-oh, why is it still not working? That's when git status can help you. App controller. Okay. Generate controller user. I just generated, but it doesn't. Huh? Did I? Thank you to all the English speaker in the room. All right. Okay, this is another problem. When you do this and there's so much, it's time for you to git commit. Okay, so that you can have your sanity by look at things like that, right? So what I did earlier is just add user model and basic and has secure password. All right, I have user controller. It means I can go to use this one here. Define new. What do I have? As usual, user.new. Nothing fancy. How do I implement the view? New, go to user new, right? html.erb. So in here, you actually call it maybe sign up. And then here's what? Form for today, huh? I just use parentheses sometimes if we need arguments to make it clear, but user. So you know where user is from, right? User is from the controller. Okay, so that's clear? Alright, what do we have in here? Huh? Okay, so label name, and then what? F dot what? Text field. What? Name. Probably here we want to do it the bootstrap way, right? So it's a bit annoying. You have to add like form group. Okay, then you can do the same thing for in here email. Then the next one here is password, but up here is okay, password field. How does it look? I need to click on sign up. Why is it still ugly? I didn't install Bootstrap, right? That's okay. Installing Bootstrap takes like a few minutes. Okay, so let's add what submit. You see, Rails is a bit crazy. So when you do submit, pass nil to it. This f, what is f? It's a form object. So actually, if you do f.object, it returns user. Okay. So in this f, it understands everything about this user. That's why you do f.text field name. It will actually autofill, right, the field over there. So what happens now? Technically, for example, if you want someone to sign up and you pass in like email, params email, right? And then I go here, I say, hey, why don't you go sign up as Harley? And it just autofill like that. Because this guy is smart. Alright, we need a create thing because it's going to submit there, right? So what is our user? Someone read for me. New user params. This is the convention. We have a private, you don't have to put in the word private here, but what is user params? Params dot require user. So when you submit params, all of this get submitted inside this user group. Let me prove it to you by loading. Yes, inspector here, right? You see I have form, but then in here you see the name is user open bracket password, and then everything else like that, user bracket blah blah. And then where is it submitted to? Form. It's submitted to action/user here. All right. So all this Ruby code generate that HTML. So I click this, it go to /user, which is up here. So then what I'm doing next? If user.save, then what? Slash success sign in or something like welcome. And then maybe you can even pass in the user name here. If not saved, then what? This is interesting one. This is, you don't need to do flash because there's an error inside the user object already. So I just say render new. I have the same variable set up. user and users, so I don't worry about this one crashing. I just render, okay? Render new, and then go back to user new here. All right, let's see what happens if I click here, create user. Oh, forbidden. Why? User params. There's some attribute I did not, I did not permit. What should I permit? You can actually see it in here. You see here? All right, so what should I permit? Name, email, password. Cool. Submit again. All right. So we go back to this form. It's kind of weird, right? This is not a URL you can just refresh, right? It posts here, but then it render the new template because there's some error going on. How can you display these errors? One simple way is to go in here and look at this form, right? So you can say if, in here, right? If user, again, you can do f.object, the same, dot errors, yeah, dot something like maybe not empty or something. It's an array, right? Maybe dot size greater than 0, whatever you want to do it. And then in here you can display alert error. That's the laziest way. You just do user.errors.full messages.2 sentence, or you can convert that into a list of errors. Cool, right? All right, let's take a 3-minute break. I'm gonna set up Bootstrap. You guys can go drink water so you don't pass out.